Okay, it's afternoon. I did these on the 21st. The pressure can ground chuck. I had bought it on a deal at our local grocery store, HEB, when they had a coupon, buy something off of something. Buy, I think it was get $10 off your $50 purchase. And so I bought a bunch of ground chuck, and I had pressure canned some of it, and then I didn't have time to do the rest, so it was in the freezer. I pulled it out the other day and I pressure canned it, and I got 7 pints. And this is what it looks like. You basically are going to, professional canners or the fancy canners are going to tell you to par cook the ground beef. I don't do that. I cook mine all the way done, and then I strain it out and I put it into the jars. And then the process is you put to an inch of headspace right here, hot water, because your beef is going to be hot. And so you put the boiling water, fill it to here, carefully clean your jars, the rims, with vinegar on a paper towel. Then you're going to put your lids on, and then you put your bands on, and then you load it in your pressure canner. You let it come up to, you put your lid on and everything. You let it come up to where the vent is steaming. You let it steam for 10 minutes. When the 10 minutes passes, you put your little jiggler on the pipe thing. Whew, I need to clean that. We have such hard water, it does that. So I've got to clean that up. Anyway, you put that on. And you're going to put it at a medium heat then. And when this little thing starts doing a wiggle, a jiggle, then you put your timer on. For pints, it's 75 minutes. And for quarts, it's 90 minutes. And you let it process. And when it's done, you use your jar puller, you pick it out of the canner, and you set it onto a towel like this. Well, not like this one. This one will probably melt, but because it's just a little cutie booty one. I put it on like a cotton dish towel, and then once it cools, you take your bands off. And this is what a band is. When you hear me say band, you take your band off, and once it's completely cool, you wash your jars with dish soap and scrub them down, and rinse them really good. And then they're ready for the shelf. You can go ahead and label them and put them on your shelf. And, about once a month, I go through on all of my jars and I just tap the lid like that, because you can tell if they're sealed. They sound like that. If they're not sealed, it'll be like a thunk noise. If you hear a thunk, then you want to get them and lift them like this. If the jar's not sealed, it'll drop, and you'll be left holding the lid in your hand. But yeah, this is what ground chuck looks like. And people think it's a lot of fat in there, but really, if you look in there, it's only like a tablespoon of fat in there, and then it has the water in it. Now, what I do with it is I'll take it, I'll dump it into a skillet on like medium high, and I'll let that water cook off. And then I'll add whatever seasoning, and it can be taco meat, it can be chili meat, it can be spaghetti sauce meat. It can fit for anything. You're not going to make a hamburger from it, but y'all know that. I mean, that's just a ding dong thing that you say. But some people say they do not like pressure canned hamburger meat. This is ground chuck. Maybe that makes a difference. I don't know. But I cook it, like I said, I do it differently. I don't par cook it. I cook it all the way through so that it's kind of firm when you pack it into the jars and put your boiling water on it and pressure can it. And to me, mine comes out a little bit firmer, so it's a better texture maybe. And I don't know what other people are doing to it that is making it, they say it tastes different. I fill mine with filtered water. I don't like the water where I live that comes out of the tap, so I filter everything. And then it's boiled, and so this is what it basically is. And you're looking at about, I think I browned about 8 pounds and strained the fat off, which actually, if you clean the fat through the process of heating it up with fresh water and then pouring it into a bowl and putting it in the refrigerator, letting the fat solidify and the dirty stuff in the bottom, remove the fat, dump out the dirty water, and then do it several times, it kind of cleans the fat. And then you can take that hamburger meat or ground chuck meat grease and turn it into a cooking fat. And all you do is, once you're done doing that process of heating it up with fresh filtered water and then cooling it so that the fat separates cleaner, when you're done with that process, you can take that solidified fat from the top of the bowl and put it into a Ziploc bag, label it, put it in your freezer, not fridge, freezer. And then you have got a cooking oil or fat that you can use that didn't cost you anything because you've already bought this. And if you do the cleaning process of it multiple times from this, do not make seasoned hamburgers or whatever and try to save that fat, because that fat has seasoning in it. You'll never get it to taste clean. But if you cook this with no seasoning and take the grease from this and do the process multiple times, it removes a lot of the flavor. Is it going to still taste like hamburger beef? Slightly, yes. So I would use it only if you're cooking really lean meat that you got cheap and you need to add some fat to it. You can do that. It doesn't hurt anything, and it's free because you've already processed this. Now, a lot of people do not like to save tallow, because that's from beef. They don't like to save tallow from hamburger meat. And I'm like, you're just throwing away something that is good to use. Now, would I use it for skin cream? No, absolutely not. But for cooking, yeah, you could use it. You put it in your freezer and it gets solid. You could even make it and cut it to cubes, whatever size you need. Keep it in your freezer and just throw some in whenever you're cooking something that needs a little bit of beef fat that does not have a strong flavor, because it was not seasoned when it was processed. Okay, so you can do that, try that. But this makes good taco meat, it makes good spaghetti meat, all those things. And I got this, it was regularly $5.98 a pound, and I bought a good bit of groceries for $50 and applied $10 off. So it made it much cheaper. And then now it's shelf stable. So say I worked until 8 o'clock at night and I'm getting off work and I'm really hungry and I want to make something, tacos or a taco salad or anything with ground beef. I can just get the skillet out, dump it in there, and it's, within a few minutes I've got my food ready to go. So give it a try. You can take this and add beans to it in a skillet, add a can of Rotel, and add some tomato paste and some seasoning and about a quarter of a cup of water. Or actually, you can just use the water that's in the meat and heat it up and cook it for about 10 minutes on a medium heat while you go change your clothes after work or whatever. And you'll have skillet chili ready to go. And you can add, I always say just do a can of Rotel, because that's got your tomatoes, your onions, your peppers, And if you add tomato paste, it thickens it. And then you can add garlic seasoning and chili powder and whatever. And within 10 minutes, you have a really good chili, a skillet chili. But that's me. I do make homemade chili a lot of times where I cook my own beans and I, put fresh ingredients and everything. But that's for a day when I've got time. But the skillet chili would be for when you are done with work and you need a quick meal. But that's just one of them I make. But there you go. Pressure canned ground chuck. And that really, if you look at that, you can see in there that it's meat in the center. So you can see you can see right there that it's just a little bit of fat in there. So it is a way to get your beef with a lower fat if you're worried about that. I do not have cholesterol problems. I have perfect cholesterol. So I can eat, my body processes that, so I can have it and I enjoy it and it doesn't bother me. So, but am I eating tons of fat? No, I'm not one of those people. But yeah, here you go. Here's you a easy way to store your beef without worrying about your freezer going out with bad weather. Anyway, y'all have a good afternoon.